So inside of Steal a Brainrot, this is going to be a full complete guide to the game and in regards to literally everything from farming, Brainrots, making money, rebirth systems, the best mechanics, and the best way to grind. So first things first, inside of Steal a Brainrot, obviously we have the core mechanics, which are going to be your plants. So these are fairly straightforward. You're going to get them from George right here, this NPC. So he will sell you these plants. So these are the only current ones in the game, but nonetheless, they're still very good. So first things first is we're going to look at the best ones you should first prioritize getting. So I would recommend, obviously, the first one you get is the cactus seed. And once you get the cactus seed, you will get the noob NPC that you will then place down as your first way of making money. But that is not, the first, that's just like the first little grasp of how this game actually goes. So next thing is going to be, I would recommend getting as many strawberry seeds as you can, since cactus seeds, strawberries, pumpkins, and sunflowers are guaranteed every single stock to be in. And the strawberry one is going to be probably the best one you can get up front just because of its price. So you want to get as many of those as you can. And as you might notice, I have every single plot and a ton coming in at once. So the more plots you have, the actual more Brainrot NPCs that can actually spawn in at once, meaning obviously that is a priority. But another thing is gear. So gear, realistically, most of it is not really helpful. I mean, the frost blower, frost grenade, these are pretty decent for when you get a big secret NPC, right? Like I had one that had nearly 1 million hit points and I couldn't kill it in time. But that thing, man, I was trying to slow it down as much as I could and pretty much did nothing to it. But nonetheless, the next thing is your placements. So you do have a limit to how many you can place. I believe it's 5 per slot. So you can place like 5 in total. So I have 5, and then I have 7 rows. So I can place 35. Now, I do believe this is increased some way. I don't know directly, but I do know it can be increased because I went from 30 to 35. But anyways, the next thing is going to be the order of, the way you should progress. So after you get the first section going, your first priority should be to get as many of these Brainrot slots as possible, because this is going to be the best way you can make money is by grinding these as fast as you can. And then the first priority you should make, like first thing on the list, is getting either the sunflower or to get the dragon fruit. So sunflowers are really good starting ones, like to get going, and then you want to get the dragon fruit or sunflower as fast as you can. Now, so far, none of these really get stocked frequently. So you do want to make sure, though, if you can join the Discord server. So the Discord server is on the web or the game page if you just scroll down. So they have a stock notifier, which will notify you based on if there's any good item or seed in stock, so you can get really good things like that. Now, the next thing is going to be other, core functions. But one of the main things you should note is for money wise, there's this fuse machine right here. So the fuse machine can combine 1 plant and 1 Brainrot to create like a plant Brainrot. It'll make more sense once you see one. But for example, right, you have a normal, really anything, and then you just smack it together with a plant. Now, what that'll do is it'll make it both have more money, but it'll also make it rare. Now, one thing to note is you can only combine the same rarity. So if I put, for example, 1 legendary plant in, I'm going to probably put in a legendary Brainrot as well, and I'll get a legendary combo out of it. And that'll be, its own thing. But the next thing to note is going to be probably money methods. So first thing I would recommend doing is to get as much money as possible, your number 1 priority should be to place down and get as many of these slots as you can. Now, the second thing after you get as many of these slots as you can is getting a good base lineup. Now, with this base lineup, this will just make sure you can AFK, get as many of these Brainrots going as you can. And then one thing I like to do is, instead of like sitting and walking through all these pads, if you just click equip best, it collects all of it at once and also, equips the best ones you have. So as you see, I have some decent ones like this guy right here. He's a secret. I don't know why they were just spawning in like really fast. But yeah, if you go over onto index, I do have them only in gold, which is funny because I don't have the real normal one. But anyways, so you want to get as many of these first as you can. And so when you have this will allow you to get a good selection of just Brainrot you can get in general. And the next thing will be getting these things. So once you have a full level, once you're like, I think level, you don't have any rebirths, right? You're going to get only this many, like this line right here. I believe it's like like 7 or something, but you'll only get those ones. So you want to make sure you are equipping the best ones possible. So once again, by doing that. Now the next thing is going to be pretty straightforward, but the rebirths. So when you rebirth, you should just note this. When you rebirth, you do keep all of your plants, keep all of this, but all you do is you lose your money and all your brain rot. Now what you can do is, this is currently disabled, but would work if it wasn't, is you can give all of your good brain rot or whatever to another account, then rebirth, and then just get them back. Because you can do that in Steal a Brainrot as well, but that is obviously currently disabled as of recording this. But nonetheless, rebirthing will give you, just note, bigger island. A bigger island means you can have more of these slots. So this section right here expands, and then you have more luck and you make more money. So it multiplies it by 0.5. So each time you rebirth, it increases that, but the requirements go up. So I have to get 2 secrets in order to rebirth, and I need 50 million. So obviously that's a bit of a hassle, but both of those being secrets most likely means I can't even get it right now, because I mean, my garden this is not going to cut it realistically. But once again, rebirthing is very much recommended, because since you do keep all your plants, you can get as much progress making money early in, and then get as many good plants as you can. Once again, joining whenever a good seed is in from the shop, buying it, right, planting it down, and then just going from there. And then the next step is just the grinding. So if any of this doesn't make sense, do make sure to leave a comment, but I'll make sure to probably answer that if I can. But one of the main things to note is all of these things, this is more of an early developed game, so there is just expecting more features and all that coming soon. But one of the main things to note is the earlier you play the game, the better, realistically. So if you can get into the game, get good progress right off the bat, most likely the better. And I do believe they do admin abuse, so whenever they have update hype, make sure you do join for that, because that'll get you at guaranteed good progress. But for the most part, unless you want to get pay to win, realistically you can get these things, you can get some other crap. This is pretty useless. You should pretty much never get that. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Once again, if you have any other questions,